Devon Larratt just hopped on Neil Pickup's podcast and he gave us a ton of updates as to his training, and some of the stuff he said was pretty crazy. Some of it has to do with the type of training he is doing, and some of it has to do with the chemistry experiment Devon is becoming. He also explained why his training the last time around failed and how he has totally changed his training. And finally, Devon gave his official score prediction of this match. Let's take a listen.
I have worked the piss out of my press and my inside game. I'm pressing every day. I'm low cup multi every day, high cup multi every day, supination work every day, heavy and frequent. I've tried peptides in a way that probably nobody on this entire that's watching has tried them. And there's stuff that I can't even talk about because of reasons that I can't talk about, but I'm going to be like patient zero with some experimental shit. Was supposed to already happen, but we're just waiting, but I should have it in the next week or two. I'm going full X-Man.
So the first thing I noticed is the inside training Devon is talking about. Most of what Devon has been posting lately has just been his pronation lift and occasionally the rise lift. But Devon said that he's been training his full inside game and his press at a super high intensity. I knew that he was generally doing these movements, but I didn't know if it was only blood flow work or not. But it turns out Devon has been doing super heavy singles on these inside movements every single day, just like with the other stuff. So Devon is fully backing the transitional press lane if that becomes available to him. After this, Devon talks about some of the other stuff he's doing in his prep. And this is where things get a little bit strange. Devon says that he has some crazy kind of experimental stuff showing up at his house in the next week or so that's supposed to turn him into the Wolverine or something. I don't really know what Devon would be getting this late into the game that he would be implementing and in seemingly such a random way, but from what Devon is saying, it sounds like he's pretty much a giant black hole for anything and everything that could be considered remotely performance enhancing. So maybe there isn't a timeline for this new stuff and he's just throwing it in at the last moment, because why not? So I guess we'll see how that goes for him. Now, another thing he talked about that I think is really important is the date that he started doing these singles. This one really surprised me. I personally thought that the training plan he's doing right now, where he's hitting singles every day, was a little bit more of a recent thing than it turned out to be. Apparently, he started hitting these singles pretty much immediately after he got back from the Levon match. So this means that by the time he faces Levon, he will have been doing these singles every day for nearly 2 years. For whatever reason, I was thinking that he had only been fully committed to the singles program for less time than this, but Devon said that the Levon loss was the very thing that caused him to commit to it. And lastly, Devon went ahead and gave an official score prediction for this match. He said it's going to be either 4-0 or 4-1 in his favor. He said he's either going to get a stop in round 1 or round 2, and once he gets that stop, it's totally over. Devon also mentioned that Levon's lifts are lower than they were the last time they faced, and at this level, that is going to make a huge difference. Enough so that Devon is claiming the edge for himself in this match. He does still give general credit to Levon that the lifts are super impressive, but they are lower than they used to be. And that brings us into another point. Devon has already talked quite a bit about his mindset in the build up to these matches. He has this whole routine he goes through where he convinces himself that he's gonna lose in the early build up, then slowly starts to convince himself that he's gonna win, and then at some point he shifts his mindset to a state in which he perceives himself as unbeatable. So sometimes when Devon is saying this stuff, it's a little difficult to tell if it's only for the sake of hype or for his mindset or he actually believes it. But let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. And by the way, he joined the podcast from a hyperbolic chamber that he's apparently been using every day since the Georgi match. If nothing else works, the hyperbolic chamber has got to, right around 6 weeks out from the match.